Hello everyone. Today we are addressing a fundamental shift in the landscape of digital advertising, the Meta Ads logic reversal. For over a decade we operated under an audience-first paradigm, where manual targeting was considered the primary driver of performance. However, with the emergence of Andromeda and advanced AI systems, the traditional hierarchy has completely flipped. We are moving into a creative-first era. In this session, we will explore why who you target has stopped being your competitive edge and how the advertisement itself has now become the ultimate targeting decision. We will examine the transition from manual segmentation to an engine-led discovery process that prioritizes content over cohorts. Meta has effectively flipped the order of operations for successful advertising. Historically, you selected an audience and then matched an ad to them. Now Andromeda does the exact opposite. It reads the ad content first, and then finds the corresponding audience. Internal data shows a significant 22% ROAS lift when using Advantage Plus Creative over traditional manual setups. This performance is driven by a 10,000-fold increase in the engine's ability to read your ad, analyzing visuals, hooks, and tone to determine relevance. Targeting has essentially become a commodity. Every advertiser now taps into the same AI-driven placements. Therefore, the who no longer sets you apart. The what is your only remaining differentiator. Let's reflect on how the audience-first model worked and why it eventually failed. This model defined the last decade. We focused on hand-picking demographics, interests, and behaviors. We relied heavily on lookalike audiences, seeding customer lists for Meta to clone. Growth came from expanding these segments manually, often holding the creative constant while testing different groups against one another. This worked because Meta had deterministic data on user identity. However, major privacy changes like iOS 14.5 quietly broke this system by severely limiting data access. The granular control we once considered a craft became a bottleneck, forcing the platform to evolve its fundamental targeting mechanisms toward a more predictive, content-based approach. The new creative-first model functions through four key mechanisms. First, the engine reads the creative, analyzing visuals, themes, and language in every upload. Second, it predicts per-user resonance on a one-to-one basis, deciding which individual will respond to specific creative elements. Third, targeting opens up to a broad pool. The engine reaches buyers you would never have found through manual segmentation because it isn't limited by your predefined boxes. Finally, the creative becomes the signal itself. The diversity and quality of your ads drive your reach, cost, and scale. Essentially, your ad is no longer just dressing on top of a targeting decision. It is the targeting decision that the AI uses to navigate the market. To fully grasp this shift, look at how the four core steps of the funnel have reversed. Previously, the input was the audience you defined. Now, it is the creative you upload. The trigger has shifted from asking who matches this segment to asking what resonates with this individual. Consequently, the engine's job is no longer just to serve your defined segment, but to actively discover the buyer within the entire platform. Growth used to mean adding more audiences to the mix to find new pockets of demand. Today, growth is achieved by adding more diverse creatives that appeal to different psychological triggers. Running the old order on this new engine means you are fighting the system instead of feeding it. When logic reverses, 6 dimensions of your daily operations must flip accordingly. The central question changes from who do I target to what do I say. Your core skill is no longer audience research and segmentation, but creative strategy and production volume. Instead of spending your time on bid tuning and targeting setup, you must focus on concepting and producing ads. The unit of optimization has moved from the ad set to the individual creative piece. Scaling is achieved by feeding a wider creative pool rather than layering new audiences. Finally, what causes failure is no longer weak targeting, but a lack of variety and sameness in your creative assets that fails to trigger the AI's discovery engine. We must accept that targeting is no longer a sustainable competitive advantage. Because Advantage Plus audience and AI placements are now the default, every advertiser on the platform is using identical tools. If the who is automated and commoditized, it can no longer be the factor that sets your results apart from the competition. The only variable left to win on is the ad itself. Creative has become the only remaining lever in the advertiser's toolkit. Your hooks, angles, formats, and messages are the only inputs still fully within your hands. As we often say, when everyone targets the same way, the only variable left to win is the specific content you put in front of the consumer. Consequently, your job description has fundamentally changed. Your value has moved from being a media buyer who manages campaigns to a creative strategist who decides which ideas are worth testing. Look at the illustrative effort split. In the old model, 70% of time went to targeting and bidding. In the new model, 75% of your effort must go into creative production. You are no longer optimizing audiences. You are producing angles. The engine no longer needs a single hero ad polished to perfection. It needs a wide, varied pool where a high volume of distinct concepts beats manual refinement. You must shift from managing technical settings to managing creative diversity and testing cycles. Transitioning is difficult, and brands often get this reversal wrong in 6 specific ways. Many still waste hours on audience segments that the engine largely overrides. Others treat creative as mere decoration for a perfect ad, rather than building genuine variety. A common mistake is making minor tweaks, like changing a font, which the engine sees as the same ad. Brands also tend to kill ads too early before the engine has learned which person matches the creative. Starving the system with too few creatives or ignoring data on which hooks actually drive results prevents wins from being repeated. Success requires abandoning these outdated reflexes and trusting the engine to find your buyers through your creative signals. To succeed in this new era, follow the Creative First playbook. First, reframe your mindset. Lead with the message, not the audience, and treat creative as the campaign itself. Second, change what you build. Focus on distinct angles rather than variations, and aim to ship 15 to 25 ads per set to give the engine enough data. Third, learn from the rewards. Track performance by specific elements like hooks and CTAs, and scale winners as entirely new concepts. Stop asking who should see this ad, and start asking what ad deserves to be seen. By handing targeting to the engine and owning the creative ideas, you will leverage the full power of modern meta advertising. Thank you. If your advertising isn't delivering the results you expect, the problem may not be the budget, it may be the strategy. At Namster Marketing, we help businesses turn advertising into a predictable growth engine. Book a free consultation with our team, and let's explore how we can help scale your results.